Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome back. Well, a little while ago we had Dr. Gilman on. He's a radio talk show host. We talked to him about a lot of topics, but today, the man behind the scene of his show, we're delighted to have with us today Rabbi Steven Rosenberg. He's the Executive Director of TalkBack Radio program with Dr. Gilman. And you probably have seen and heard of him on some of the other media venues as well. But we're delighted to have him here today with us on theDove. Rabbi Rosenberg, good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
It's good to see you, too. I'm doing fine.
Well, listen, I wish I had you for about 3 days.
That would be great.
Let's, first of all, the Middle East is just on fire. What do you think of our president's policy, or what lack thereof?
Or should I say whip policy?
Yeah.
It is, you know, the Arab Spring is rapidly turning into the Arab Winter, and it is really spiraling out of control. And you know, you first had Egypt with an upheaval that is now, you know, seeing several different leaders, the mess in Libya, and then our just hesitancy in Syria has just been more and more fodder for what's becoming a really horrible neighborhood in that part of the world. And now you look at what's going on in Iraq with after the United States pulled out. And I think it should be pointed out, and I don't think this is certainly any breaking news here, that the generals who were on the ground in Iraq pleaded with President Obama not to pull all the troops out,
right? Because
they were afraid that in a vacuum of U.S. power, U.S. air power and boots on the ground, what was going to happen is exactly what's going on. And you've got Iraq really tearing itself apart.
All right, a couple things here. So really, it all started with our lack of policy or legitimate policy in Syria. Now it's spread over into Iraq, and I think we get that. But most Americans probably don't know what ISIS is, you know, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. And who are these people?
Well, this is really interesting. These guys are so bad, Al-Qaeda disowned them. And I think we need to, you know, put that at the top. This is a group that's led by a person by the name of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who is he's a Sunni. Now, that's really important that we kind of understand the difference between the Sunnis and the Shias. And when Baghdad was a power, when it was a country under Saddam Hussein, who was no Boy Scout either, it was dominated. He was called a Ba'athist, and that will take another hour to explain that. But it was Sunni dominated, and the Shias were really regimented to a very small role in the country. After we put in power this gentleman named Maliki, who is Shiite and has been horrible, has been absolutely a tyrant, and all the Sunnis have been completely delegitimized. ISIS is a group of people, and we don't know exactly how many there are. There might be 20,000 or 30,000 who are militant Islamists, who are Sunni, who are trying to not only take the country back, but create a caliphate. And that word, you know, we hear it every once in a while. A caliphate is basically an Islamic regime, a traditional Islamic regime, much the world has not seen since before the fall of the Ottoman Empire, which, you know, coincidentally, this is the 100th year anniversary of World War I.
Right, yeah, this weekend. Hey, all right, so is there any real legitimate interest for the Kurds getting involved in this?
No, I think what's going to happen with the Kurds, this is my own opinion, the Kurds up to the north have pretty much created their own province. And I think you're going to see them pretty much in their own place. What I think is going to happen eventually, if we don't do something, is that you're going to see Iraq break into 3 different states. You're going to have the Kurdish to the north. You're going to have the ISIS, which is going to be another government run by militants, run by terrorists. You know, where have we seen that for? We already have Hamas, and we already have, we have the Taliban. Now we're going to have ISIS running probably a good part of Iraq, and probably of a smaller part run by some kind of Sunni regime. What is ironic about all this? You talk about strange bedfellows. We seem to be on the same side of this fight as Iran. Who is also, and believe me, Iran, again, is the largest sponsor of terrorism in the world, but would like to see some kind of 3-part government here. I don't know if that's going to happen. You've got ISIS now 20 miles from Baghdad. And we do not have, even if the United States wanted to mobilize all their troops and go back into Iraq, we wouldn't get there in time. So I think, and there's no stomach in the United States for another war. But at the same time, the part that I think that makes us all, kind of come together here is that in all this, you have one democracy still sitting in the middle of this, which is Israel.
Right.
And you've got, I think, the state that's most vulnerable right now next to Israel is probably Jordan.
What's so interesting here, and you're right, I don't think the United States just doesn't have the stomach for war. I get that. But what we don't seem to be recognizing is that we have open genocide on national world television every night, and the world doesn't seem to be upset about it. We've got World War II to the 10th degree in front of us, the killing of people and shooting them in the back of the head and putting them in open graves, and we don't seem to be upset about it as a human race.
Where have we seen that before again? This is. If we go back and look at World War II and the Holocaust and the fact that a lot of the American government knew about what was going on and turned their head. Also, a lot of Europe turned their head. Here it's happening again. We don't hear, I think we've talked about this before, we don't hear anything about all the Christian families, all the Christian population in Aleppo and other places in Syria and in Egypt, the Coptics, who are also getting slaughtered. We don't hear a word about it.
Right.
And this is, I think we're running into, let's not lose the point that on the 100th anniversary of World War I, we are seeing where in World War I it was the Balkans, which was really the linchpin. Here we've got the Middle East, and we don't have good leadership from the United States now on keeping a handle on any of this. And I don't know where it's going, but it doesn't look good.
All right, so we're trying to involve the Kurds. That's not going anywhere. I think the Kurds probably are thankful for George W. Bush Sr. for creating the no-fly zone, and that gave them their opportunity. But look, we're turning our back on Israel at the same time. This is not good.
Well, I don't know if you've discussed it or not, but when you have group, it's funny. I'm having actually lunch today with a prominent Presbyterian minister talking about the Presbyterian group's divestment of Israel, which has got a lot of us scratching our heads. It's a lot of Presbyterians scratching their heads. Right. So, and I'll be having lunch with him later on this afternoon. But I think that we have to focus on also our allies right now. And, Israel is sitting in the middle of a very dangerous neighborhood with not a lot of options. And the fact of the matter is right now, we also forget that Iraq has a huge army, and a lot of machinery, a lot of weaponry, and so does Iran, right next door to each other. And I think this is a time when cooler heads need to prevail. when we all know that one match can really light a tinderbox here, can really light a firestorm, and we need to be diligent about how we go about, showing leadership. And the problem right now is you don't have good leadership in the White House.
Yeah.
And we're the only superpower. It's up to us to kind of take the lead here, and we're just not seeing it.
Yeah, there's almost, you can't find the words to describe it right now. Rabbi, we're going to run out of time. I want to get you back because I think you got a lot to share with us here. And I think that what's so interesting is that the least of which we should show strong support to Israel. That does send a signal. And I know we're sending in military advice, but could we do a clarion call across the world just on human rights violations alone? I mean, why can't we get the UN to sign in on this stupid thing?
I have to tell you, you are right. You are right, Perry. Week after week, day after day, we see on television now, everything is instantaneous. All these mass executions, all these poor people being shot in the head. Yeah. And you've got the trenches, the graves right there. Where is the UN? You're right. Where is the UN? Have we heard one thing from the United Nations saying that, to condemn this? It's a little interesting to me that this body that also, at one time called, Zionism is racism, can't look on their TV screens and see what's going on and not condemn it. I'm a little aghast at their lack of involvement.
Rabbi, I'm out of time, but I'll get you back quicker for a longer session. How can people correspond with you?
If they wish to get in touch with me, it's very easy. I'll give you my email address. Okay. It's rabbisteven.rosenberg @gmail.com. Again, that's Rabbi Steven, Steven, Rabbi Steven got a little dot in there, Rosenberg, Rosenberg, @gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, my friend. Blessings on you. Have a great day. I'd love to talk to you on the other side of your lunch.
Absolutely.
I want to hear how that comes out.
I will send you an email, my friend.
All right. God bless you, pal. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
All right. We'll see you next time on Focus Today.